Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
We have several hot afternoons in our forecast this week, but over the weekend, the heat turns dangerous. I'll show you what it will feel like with the heat index.
And state lawmakers may include millions to renovate Poe Hall in the upcoming state budget. Why people who say they got cancer from chemicals in the building say that money could be better used.
And today, Raleigh city leaders will consider new safety guidelines for the city's parades. The new regulations that may be coming after the tragedy at the Christmas parade 18 months ago.
And another local swimmer hopes to qualify for Teams USA tonight at the swim trials. The mindset he is taking into the pool after falling short of making the last Olympic Games. We have several swimmers vying for spots on Team USA. We will get to that story coming up for you on your Tuesday morning. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey in for Renee Chu.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making us part of your Tuesday here. We're talking about swimmers and pools and high heat certainly on the way. And Elizabeth Gardner is making me talk about golf again with what's behind you there.
I thought this would make you happy, Jeff, this morning.
Sure.
A little bit of cloud cover out there. No rain is going to fall from these clouds. I mean, we could desperately use some rain. But what we'll see with the clouds is it will keep our temperatures from warming up too fast this morning. It actually is feeling pretty comfortable in a lot of places. In the Triangle, it is 71. Our dew point is 64, which you can feel the humidity, but it's not as intense as it's going to be later on this week and into the weekend. Right now, it is 67 in Southern Pines and in Clinton, 63 in Goldsboro, 66 Rocky Mount, 68 in South Hill. And that feels pretty comfortable as you're heading out the door this morning. But we do hit 85 by lunchtime, and we'll see a high of 92 later this afternoon. We also have some things heating up in the tropics. We have potential tropical cyclone number 1, which formed about 12 hours ago. It has winds at 40 miles per hour. It doesn't quite have that closed circulation. It may be named Alberto before it makes landfall here in Mexico. It is likely to have some major impact in Texas as well. We'll talk about how much rain and storm surge they could see. Our big story here is our scorching hot weekend, highs near 100, and of course triple-digit heat indices as well. I'll show you when we might see a heat advisory, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, at 6:02, updating a story we've been following since we came on the air this morning. A crash involving a couple of tractor trailers on I-95 South that shut down that section of I-95 South near Hope Mills for a little while. But you can see I-95 southbound lanes are completely open right now. You're just seeing some lingering delays in that area for right now. Back here around the Triangle, though, we are seeing some breaking news along I-40 westbound near the Carey Harrison exit. Raleigh police have been working a crash scene there for the longest while. This is what it looks like right now. You can see the overturned tractor trailer there on the side of the road. We're working to find out exactly how many vehicles were involved, but you can see first responders on the scene. One lane is closed, but traffic is moving in the other 3 lanes. We'll keep monitoring it for you here in the WRAL Traffic Center.
State lawmakers are considering millions of dollars to fix NC State's Poe Hall. That's the building dozens of people blame for giving them cancer. WRAL's Laura Levine is outside Poe Hall this morning. And Laura, some are saying that the renovation is not the right way to use this money.
Jeff, it has been 7 months since the Poe Hall building closed after cancer-causing chemicals were found in it. Take a look here on the signs outside of the building. You can see pink breast cancer ribbons on it, really representing the people that have been impacted by the situation. But right now, many have the message pretty clear that they want this building gutted, but not until independent testing is complete. The House of Representatives says it is willing to give anywhere between $5 and $180 million to renovate or tear down Poe Hall. The proposal is drawing a mixed reaction from sick alum and workers who tell WRAL they want the money spent on people and not the building.
If they really want to request money, they should really request money to offset the medical bills of the over 200 people who have gotten cancer or other illnesses while working in Poe Hall.
So this proposal is not guaranteed to become law. The 2 chambers will still debate and discuss the upcoming new state budget, which will begin in July. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Wake County deputies are working to make an arrest after a shooting that left a man hurt. Deputies responded to a home on East Garner Road just before 9:30 last night. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker. A man who lives at the home tells us that he and a friend were outside when two men walked through the yard. He says when he confronted them, that's when one of them started shooting. One man was grazed by a bullet and is expected to be okay.
Starting this morning, new lanes are now open on a busy part of I-440 that has been under construction for a while. You see it on this map here. This is right along I-440 West from Lake Boone Trail to Western Boulevard. Traffic has shifted now onto the new Wade Avenue Bridge and Hillsborough Street Bridge. So that replaces the temporary lanes that have been in place as part of that I-440 widening project. So be sure to pay attention if you are driving in that area this morning. The Red Cross is helping 4 people after a fire in Johnston County. Crews responded to Dallas Circle near Pine Level just before 11 last night. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker after fire crews cleared the scene. You can see some damage to the roof there. Authorities tell us the home is 2 units. It's a duplex with a total of 4 adults living there. No one was hurt.
New this morning, President Biden's administration is announcing an executive action protecting undocumented spouses of American citizens. The new policy would shield about 500,000 immigrants from deportation. The program, known as Parole in Place, would also make it easier for some undocumented immigrants to get a green card. The undocumented spouses would be allowed to obtain work permits on a case-by-case basis.
Today, we'll get a closer look at the city of Raleigh's new recommendations for parades. City staff will present new rules and regulations to City Council. This comes after the death of 11-year-old Haley Brooks, a dancer who was killed by a pickup truck in the parade in 2022. The Brooks family has been fighting for more strict safety guidelines. Among them, drivers have to be at least 25 years old. The vehicle must have a safety inspection within 30 days of the parade. Floats have to have a fire extinguisher on board, and they also have to have proper brakes and a horn.
Common sense regulations. I think they're best practices that have been benchmarked across the country, and I think they're going to make sure that our parades can resume to the full extent in a very fun, in a very safe manner.
Other measures include asking new parade drivers to attend an orientation and parade staff enacting risk assessment and emergency response plans.
After receiving multiple emails from viewers, WRAL Investigates has learned the Human Resources Director for the North Carolina Department of Revenue, Harlan Fry, is no longer employed by the agency as of a week ago. That happened one day after a man by the same name with a Greensboro address was arrested by Long Beach police in California for arranging a meeting with a child for lewd purposes. The Department of Revenue confirmed that Fry served as HR Director from April 4th of 2022 until last Monday, June 10th, one day after a Harlan Fry was charged with that felony in Los Angeles County. This is a photo of Fry from the state's website. We've reached out to Fry and to the department with more questions. We are still waiting to hear back.
Homeowners in Durham will soon pay higher property taxes. The city approved its $670 million budget last night, days after the county increased taxes. For someone who owns a home valued at about $250,000, the median tax value in the city of Durham, this will mean a yearly city tax bill of just over $1,500. The budget will take effect July 1st.
Good morning. I'm Chris Levingood in the WRAL Live Center. We're getting our first look this morning of this person that Durham police say is missing and in danger. This is 25-year-old Anne Marie Thompson. She went missing last night around 9:50, we're being told, last spotted on Oxborough Circle. Now, although you see the long hair there, she is being said to have actually short, shaved brown hair now, last seen wearing a white short-sleeve shirt and light blue shorts, and could be traveling to Raleigh. We're still trying to get more information from investigators on why they believe that she is in danger, but we are still keeping on this story, and we'll report any update we get here at the WRAL Live Center.
Tonight, a former NC State swimmer will race for a spot on the U.S. Olympic team. Ross Dant is training with the Wolfpack Elite right here in Raleigh. He is the 4th seed in the 800 free final. Dant spoke with WRAL about his mindset going into tonight's trials. He says making the Olympic team after missing out on a spot in 2021 is something he has been working very hard for.
Last trials in 2021, I got third in the 800 freestyle, just missing out on that Olympic spot. So I've got a lot of momentum and a lot of emotion carrying me into tomorrow's final because I want that team spot. I want to make that Olympic team spot. I was so close 3 years ago, and I've worked really hard every day, and that's something I've thought about every single day.
And Carrie's own 19-year-old Clara Curzan finished third in her semifinal 100-meter backstroke yesterday, advancing to the final. Curzan was one of 4 local competitors in the women's 100-meter backstroke. She previously won a silver medal in Tokyo as a 16-year-old. And the Olympic swimming trials continue through Sunday. And, of course, you can catch all of the excitement on WRAL.
Super busy time for area athletes. Today, UNC will be playing to keep its hopes in the College Baseball World Series alive. The Heels take on Florida State today in Omaha. The winner advances. The loser's season will be over. First pitch is at 2 o'clock this afternoon. And NC State's baseball season came to an end with a loss. They were already in the elimination bracket. Came up just short yesterday, losing 5-4 to Florida.
Today, a ceremonial groundbreaking happens for a new elementary school in Fuquay-Varina. A celebration is happening today for Bowling Road Elementary School. Wake County leaders will speak at the event that begins at 10:30 this morning. Wake County Public Schools plans to have the new school open for the 2025-26 school year.
A mobile home community for seniors that was proposed in Harnett County gets denied. The vote from county leaders coming after concerns raised by people who live nearby.
And that dream family vacation to Disney could put you into debt. What a new study is revealing about how much people are paying and what they say is the biggest expense.
We'll see a hot week. Temperatures in the low 90s up until Thursday, and then we're in the upper 90s over the weekend. I'll show you what the heat index will feel like and when we could see a heat advisory potentially.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
.614, look at this gorgeous sunrise here in Sanford. That sun just popping up and that break in the clouds right there at the horizon. We do have some cloud cover hanging over Sanford this morning. Very similar to what we saw yesterday. We'll see some cloud cover. Those clouds will help to keep our temperatures a little bit cooler, but we're still talking about low 90s for highs this afternoon. Pretty comfortable, though, heading out the door this morning. Look at that, 63 in Lewisburg and in Tarboro, 68 South Hill, 66 Rocky Mount and Goldsboro. As long as we can keep it in the 60s and not in the 70s at the beginning of the day, it feels a little better. And our humidity sitting in the tolerable zone right now. But the pool later on this afternoon will still feel good as we climb into the low 90s. Coming up, we'll take a closer look at the big heat wave coming our way for the weekend. Ken?
And happening now in the WRAL traffic center, we continue to follow this breaking news on I-40 westbound. An overturned vehicle right there on the shoulder of the road. Initially, this lane was closed, but you can see a lot of drivers are obeying that move over law and just moving over one lane to give state troopers an opportunity to work this crash scene. We'll keep monitoring it for you, but you can see traffic is moving in the direction on the westbound lanes. Elsewhere around the triangle, we've got this crash on High 70 near South Miami Boulevard, not causing any major problems, and there's a slowdown there on the Carrie Harrison Avenue exit on I-40 westbound. But just give yourself some extra time if you're about to head out this morning.
Ken, a proposed mobile home community in Harnett County will not get developed. This is a hot topic there. The decision came after many people who live nearby spoke out about the proposal at the County Board of Commissioners meeting. That property owner wanted about 10 acres off Tyler Stone Drive near Anger rezoned for the community. She says it would help seniors and other people in need of transitional housing. But people who oppose the plan worried about the effect on their neighborhood.
Real estate for a lot of years, and the house value is going to go down. And I just don't think it's a good thing.
You had all of those commissioners that sat on that board tonight, and they opposed the affordable housing.
And the commissioners unanimously rejected the rezoning proposal. The landowner says she's considering appealing that decision.
This morning on Today, an exclusive interview with California shark attack victim Caleb Adams. He shares his firsthand account of the terrifying experience 2 weeks ago.
It was a strong hit to my body. I didn't feel more of a pain or a crushing, but I knew I had been hit by a shark. And I tussled with the animal for what was seconds.
Adam says people he barely knew swam through the bloody waters to help him get to safety. You can hear more of that interview this morning at 7 o'clock on Today, right here on WRAL.
A new survey shows some Americans are willing to break the bank for a Disney vacation. Data from Lending Tree shows nearly half of parents in the U.S. who visit Disney with their families go into debt. The average family breaks the budget by nearly $2,000. In some cases, they need months to fully pay it off. And many blame pricey food and souvenirs for busting their budget.
It is expensive. Well, the National Weather Service says a downburst caused this extensive damage in western Pennsylvania. This happened just north of Pittsburgh during a storm yesterday afternoon. Downed trees and power lines scattered across the area. One massive tree even fell right onto a home. Weather authorities blamed a downburst, which is a downward and outward gushing wind system. Tens of thousands of people lost power across the region. It's just absolutely crazy to see the damage there. In our area, Elizabeth, no rain, nothing like that for at least the next week.
We're watching the tropics this morning where we've seen our first system of the year. It's a potential tropical cyclone. That means that it doesn't quite have all the ingredients that it needs to become a tropical system, but it is likely to happen. So it will be Alberto if it gets together. But no matter whether it does or not, it's going to have the same impact along the coast of Mexico and up into Texas. It's likely to make landfall late Wednesday night with 50-mile-per-hour winds, but it's likely to be the rain, the mudslides, the flooding that's going to cause more of a problem for folks in Mexico. We'll take a look at where it is right now, and it's sitting off the coast of Mexico down in the southern part of the Gulf of Mexico, moving at about with winds at about 40 miles per hour, moving north at 6. This is an update this morning. New this morning, we have a tropical storm warning in effect for almost the entire coast of Texas. It was a tropical storm watch yesterday. So the storm surge up to 3 or 4 feet, especially along the southern coast of Texas, and we could end up with 5 to 10 inches of rain. You can see these orange shaded areas. That's going to get us 5 to 10 inches potentially there. And so some dangerous flooding in Texas and definitely down into Mexico. For us, on the other hand, we have very little rain in our forecast over the next 7 days, and we are very far behind for the month. We do have a tropical wave that may develop near the Bahamas. There's a 30% chance that could develop in the next 7 days. But we take a look at Futurecast, and we'll first off take a look at the Gulf of Mexico here. We have that tropical cyclone that may become Alberto, and then it makes landfall here in in Mexico, bringing a lot of heavy rain and potential flooding to Texas. There's another one right behind it. We head into the weekend. There's Friday and into Saturday. Watch what happens Saturday and Sunday. Another one develops here in the Gulf of Mexico, most likely moving into Texas as well. In the meantime, we have a wave that's developing out here in the Atlantic that could push some moisture our way, but we're not likely to see a whole lot of rain with that. What it will do is bump up our humidity, making it dangerously hot over the weekend. Pretty sunrise in Goldsboro this morning. Chapel Hill, courtesy of Top of the Hill Restaurant in our newsroom there in Fayetteville. We take a look at our tower, which was lit in blue this morning for clear skies. The heat dome will continue to keep things hot across a huge chunk of the country. You see those brown shaded areas? That's where our temperatures are going to be very hot. We're looking at low 90s for the next few days, but then we climb into the mid to upper 90s Friday and Saturday. That heat index likely to be 104, 105, and that could mean the Weather Service will issue a heat advisory for us for the weekend. Over the next 5 days, very little rain in our forecast, 20% chance on Saturday and Sunday, and a 30% chance on Monday. Coming up, we're going to talk a little bit more about that heat and how long it may stick around. Ken?
Elizabeth, we continue to follow that breaking news in the westbound lanes of I-40 near the Carey Harrison exit. You can see the overturned tractor trailer there on the side of the road. The tow truck just showed up. Several first responders have been there. That lane is closed this morning, but you can see traffic is still moving in the other 3 lanes. So just keep that in mind if you have to navigate I-40 westbound this morning. You're going to get a bit of a slowdown if you come around the Carey Harrison exit. Elsewhere around the triangle, we just got reports of a crash that happened on the I-70 near South Miami Boulevard. We're seeing a little bit of brake tapping going on right there around that crash scene, but nothing that's going to make you too late this morning. Elsewhere around the triangle, we are seeing some brake tapping going on there on the Durham Freeway in Durham. Once you come off those I-40 westbound lanes, this is actually what it looks like. We've been monitoring it for the longest while. We're trying to figure out if there's construction involved, there's something going on. But you can see right here in the shoulder, there's something going on right there. First responders are right there on the scene. We keep an eye on that for you and keep you posted here in the WRAL Traffic Center.
Thanks for that, Ken. Duke Energy says it is ready for the stress on the power grid from increased AC use. You know it's coming. We'll tell you how power crews are preparing for the heat wave that is expected later this week.
And the New York Mets, their fans say a big purple good luck charm is helping their team win. The team keeps winning in the Grimace era. That's coming up in What's Trending.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
There is a new addition to the New York skyline, a 270-foot dragon.
Yeah, Ken Smith here now with What's Trending, Ken.
Oh, talk about life imitating art, right? The giant inflatable dragon is 102 stories above Midtown Manhattan. Wow. My goodness. It's there as a promotion for the new season of HBO's House of the Dragon. The show premiered Sunday night. I was glued to my set as well. The huge dragon is part of a Game of Thrones experience available inside that building in New York this week.
Yeah, that is an inflatable dragon hanging off the Empire State Building.
That's so cool. So
you can go up to the 80th floor where they have that whole experience on there, and for about $40 for kids, $46 for adults, you can get in there and make your way around the experience. Take a picture on the Iron Throne.
Now that's where
it's a big
the
deal.
money.
So cool.
There you
Big
go.
deal.
So listen, guys, I grew up a New York Mets fan, so this is rather intriguing for me. The New York Mets are now in their Grimace era. The team has won 6 games in a row since the McDonald's character threw out the first pitch of the game last week. Look at that. Fans have adopted Grimace as the team's unofficial mascot as the streak continues.
He earned that hat. Listen, the Mets didn't have the best start to their season.
No.
Then you throw Grimace in there. They have been unstoppable. I mean, they swept the Padres this past weekend. And then last night, Ken, again, for the 6th win, they beat the Texas Rangers 14-2. So listen, Grimace is the good luck charm.
What do you think Mr. and Mrs. Met think about that? You know?
Listen, as long as the Mets are winning, everybody likes it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Keep the Grimace era going.
Yes. All right. Thanks, Ken. Well, this morning on Today, see the exclusive reveal of Team USA's opening and closing ceremony outfits. They were created by fashion designer Ralph Lauren. Today airs at 7 o'clock right here on WRAL.
Also today, Wake County schools leaders consider funding for the coming year the programs and positions that could disappear in your child's school this fall.
And we're headed for our first heat wave of the year. Temperatures are going to feel more like triple digits over the weekend. I'll show you when we could see a potential heat advisory.